You feel it, don't you? That heavy, sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when you look at the state of our discourse. We demand freedom. We march for democracy. We scream about our rights online, assuming every post, share, or fiery comment is a righteous exercise of our civic duty. But look closely at the freedom we actually exercise in this diagram. Are we acting as conscious minds, or as lab rats who have finally been given access to the lever? When the rat presses the lever, it gets a food pellet. When you post a comment, you get a notification. Both trigger a spike of dopamine, a chemical reward in the brain that conditions us to repeat the action. We think we are expressing our deeply held beliefs, but we are simply caught in a behavioral trap. We have mistaken the noise of the mob for the voice of the people. The rapid-fire chaos of an internet pylon represents thousands of isolated reactions echoing in a void, a far cry from a populace coming together to deliberate. In this environment, we are no longer thinkers analyzing complex problems. We have become performers, acting out our outrage for a crowd that demands constant entertainment. And until we stop performing for this digital audience, we will never be genuinely free. We live with the largest volume of available data in human history. Yet somehow, we feel more polarized, more anxious, and more deeply misinformed than ever before. Our culture has intentionally blurred a crucial line. We are drowning in information. Information is data. It's a tweet you saw, a headline you clicked, an outrage video. It is fleeting, designed entirely to be consumed and immediately forgotten. Intelligence is the exact opposite. As we see here, intelligence is the sturdy internal architecture you painstakingly build in your own mind to understand reality. Building this requires reading, silence, and the ability to hold conflicting ideas without panicking. But when high-volume, emotionally charged information hits that structure, it bounces right off. The two systems are completely incompatible. The algorithms feeding you this information do not care about accuracy or truth. Their singular directive is to keep you engaged. If a post makes you angry, you click. If it confirms your bias, you share. When you rely on social media to validate your worldview, you outsource your judgment to a machine. You stop being a citizen participating in a democracy, and you become a mere data point, fueling a system that profits from your division. It's easy to blame the code, but we have to look at our own psychology. The requirements of a functioning democracy deeply clash with the reality of an algorithmic feed. A healthy democracy was never meant to be a war of memes. It requires careful deliberation. It requires the profound humility to sit down and say, I might be wrong about this. The modern digital environment strips away that humility. Today, we don't want to be right. We desperately want to be validated. We want our chosen tribe to cheer for us. This need for applause is exactly why people cling to conspiracy theories. These narratives function as intellectual comfort food, satisfying a craving for simplicity rather than a hunger for truth. Look at how this shortcut functions. True analytical thought is a complex maze, but a conspiracy provides a simple villain, a grand story, and a sense of belonging to a special group that knows the truth. It saves you from the terrifying, messy work of actual analysis. By seeking out these tribal shortcuts and avoiding the friction of complex thought, we actively dismantle the very deliberation required for our democracy to survive. You cannot break a spell by casting it louder. You won't counter the digital chaos by participating in it, or by trying to out-argue the mob in a comment section. Stopping the cycle begins with an act of radical defiance: silence. You have to physically disconnect from the algorithm. Turn off the feed. If you go a week without checking the trending topics, you will feel a withdrawal. You will feel a phantom urge to reach for your phone and check in. That itch is the proof of your conditioning. Ignore it. When you sit in silence, you force an uncomfortable confrontation with the one person you've been avoiding: yourself. You will find that you don't actually know what you believe. You only know what you've been told. That realization is the beginning of actual wisdom. To rebuild your mind, prioritize reading books that challenge your perspective. Seek out texts that make you feel small, forcing you to acknowledge the vastness of what you don't yet understand. Read deep history. Read complex philosophy. Actively and deliberately confront the ideas that the algorithm has programmed you to hate. You are angry at the society we have become. Good. Use that anger, but don't use it to troll a stranger on the internet. Turn it inward to sharpen your own intellectual depth and your capacity for nuance. The future will not be saved by the loudest voice. When you reclaim your own mind, you reclaim your agency. The revolution won't be televised, tweeted, or trending. It will happen in the quiet, undisturbed space of your own independent thought.